Yo, what's up, everybody? A little high there. There we go. Got the Edmund on my lap, ready to go. So this dude is passed out and loving it. So no Dave tonight. He called off. Yeah. So just me down here. But if you guys did like the last stream with party size cycling, let me know because we kind of chatted about maybe making that a regular thing. I don't know what that looks like yet. I don't know what his schedule. We haven't like gotten into the weeds. I went out of town for the weekend right when we started having that conversation, but I thought that was a lot of fun, and I like the idea of doing like some kind of hot take conversation. And I know we didn't engage with the chat as much last week as we normally do, but I don't know. The numbers of people viewing and watching and commenting looked good. So, and it seemed like you guys were chatting with each other a lot. So just let me know about that. I do want to get the having guests, remotely more dialed so we could do it when we want to. Both the times I've done it the last two times, I've had technical issues for some reason. They reversed, which is really annoying because that makes it hard to pin down what they were. When I had Bike Breath on, I couldn't hear them. When I had Party Size on, he couldn't hear me, and we've switched both over to Zoom for that region. But whatever. So just a little intro. So let's jump in here. So what's up, Dave? So yeah, obviously, David, I did shave. Some people like get so used to me having the beard because I let it grow for so long that they think I never shave. But I don't maintain a beard. I let it grow and then I shave it completely clean. I don't know, 3-4 times a year, and it's usually because I have something I have to go to and I just want to clean it up instead of spending time trimming it. I just shave it off. This time it was just like it was too long, so it needed to go. But yeah, Kalia asked about a camera strap. I know Large Marge, if he's in here, he's recommended ones he really likes. I use the stock ones, but I did put a link to Ivy. She does bike. She's a racer, but she does bike tours with Terry Berenson, one of his friends. She actually makes them, so I put a link to her stuff too because I know people really like those. So, what's up, Mr. Anderson? Hopefully, we'll be getting together soon down in Columbus or back up this way. What's up, Randy? How you doing? Nate the Great, shaving the beard to get more arrow. Yeah. What's up, Brent? Salty, Naptown, Kenny Chaos. Yeah, Babyface. It's such a pain to shave when you let it go so long. I should probably I don't know, trim it before I try and just razor shave it, but I don't. So I sit there doing like, so. Brent said, you said you've been marathoning my videos and don't even ride a bike yet. Here for the vibes. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, got to get you a bike and get out there. What's up, Dimitri? Chatted a little bit in Terry B's. So Terry B's doing a European tour. If you guys don't follow him, you should. But on YouTube and Twitch, he's live streaming a bike ride all the way across Europe. They were kind of in, the Rotterdam area today. So I chatted right in the beginning to say hi to everybody, but then I had a ton of work to do of retouching photos, so I just had it on listening in the background. So they come on. He obviously comes on pretty early because it's European time. But what's up, Dennis? What's up, Farley? Salty, I think I said hi already. BG, oh, whoops, that's Stream Elements. BG. Toasty Evans and Pudgy's in here tonight. Cops will stop you on this bridge with one simple trick. Yeah, I don't. For those of you who don't know, that video I posted, and it's a picture. The thumbnail is. I knew it was a good thumbnail and title. I knew it. So it's a cop pulling Aaron over on the bridge from my perspective. He's pulling both of us over, and then I titled it "I Deserve to Die." I think the video is even-handed, and the fact that most of the comments, like smart people, understand what that video is about. But that video has, for the size of this channel, gone pretty bonks. It's probably going to hit 80,000 views by the end of the week. So much bigger than something my channel would typically get. So it's brought out a lot of haters. There's a couple people already deleted in this thread tonight. So Will P, welcome to Tick Country. It's funny because when I talk about a couple things, one, riding on the roads, two, riding in the woods, I always get both those comments about being dangerous, being on the roads, but the tick thing always comes up a lot too. I mean, being in Michigan this last weekend in the video I just posted yesterday, how many tick comments is always interesting to me. So what I do is I just check myself for ticks after I'm in the woods. Like I check my legs, I wear the longer cycling socks and stuff like that. A lot of times I wear jeans, but I don't always. But Aaron uses tick spray. Other people do too. But I don't know. I guess like there's people who will actually say like I don't ride like in any place that there could be ticks. And to me, it's like saying I don't ride in any place where a car could hit me. It's like, what do you do then? I don't know. I don't know. It's just not the way I'm going to live. So they are dangerous, and I don't want to minimize like the tick thing, but I just find that it's like, I feel like it's another one of these things that is oversized, like overstating the danger of riding your bike on the road. But yeah, I follow a photographer on YouTube. He actually live streams now on Wednesday nights, and he's in Ohio, and I love his stuff. And he had Lyme disease, and he's still feeling effects of it. So I don't want to minimize that, but man, there's just no way in this part of the country to ride in places where there wouldn't be ticks. My throat. Excuse me. I do have something to fix the problem, though. This Mad Tree psychopathy. Anyways, what's up, Bradley? How's it going? Clunky? Pudgy's back with the broccolis. Drink water said, what's the most amount of garlic you've eaten in one day? I don't know. It'd be a whole bunch because I love garlic. I'll either use it fresh or I'll put the garlic powder on stuff. I garlic stuff like crazy. What's up, John? Will? Ugly Paul Rudd. I forgot about that. Man, Pudgy. Yeah. I don't know if you're did that comment originate from you? Like way back in the day when I first shaved? I can't remember. Clunky said it was great with party size. Bouncing Bike Life said, who's the guest host? William LeBron, what's up? So, for those you don't know, I got to meet William LeBron after 5 years of talking and many missed opportunities. So, when we were in Ann Arbor this weekend doing the Handmade bike show, me and Dylan and Funny Brad rode the DTE Trails. But so there's been a number of times, like I've been to Detroit. William wasn't there. Last time I was in Detroit, he was out of town. Then when he did a ride with the Dirty River crew at Kelly's Island, I was busy doing something different. But anyways, we finally got to ride bikes together a little bit this weekend. We were kind of on different tracks, so we didn't get to hang out a whole ton, but me, Dylan, and William all actually finally got to chat and ride together a bit. So I did make sure I at least got a photo. But yeah, we'll have to, hopefully more in the future. But it's funny to like talk to someone for that long who lives so close and not run into each other yet. So Naptown talking about the stream, so now I'm getting caught up. So the tech stuff was a whole thing, but beyond that, it's pretty dope. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do also is what I've done in the past is done some test. Me and Aaron just do some test private streams so I can make sure everything's working. I need to do that again and just make sure everything's dialed. I've clearly lost something, but that's how live streaming goes. But there were things that were going on last week that shouldn't have been a problem. So what you're saying is your guest hosts are better hosts? 100%. You guys have all heard my bullshit about 2x and Brooks saddles a million times. We need to get more. I think other opinions are more fun. Like, I don't know. I think you guys like it when Funny Brad's on here. I think you liked it when Party Size was on here, when Pudgy was here for Christmas. That was Christmas, right? Yeah. We had a lot of fun, so. What's up, Blaine? Oh.
Slotty Bart Fast became a member.
That's quite the name, Slutty Bartfest, but I totally appreciate that. Welcome aboard. So I do have a members video. I think I want to make a members video about Ann Arbor because I shot a ton of footage and the video was already 20 minutes. So there's, I think there will be a members video for any members and new members soon with some more of those cuts we did like on the A2 loop and stuff. So Bayricker said, nice to see you've de-aged. I know. When you let your beard grow, it makes it makes you look so much older. So, hey, what's up, Matt? What's up, Steve? Thanks. Appreciated that. Naptown says I've been watched enough videos in the last month that you've seen my face here in a dozen configurations. Yeah, and it is like I guess it's kind of a lie. When it gets like too like Amish looking out the sides, I will like trim it a little bit. So what's up, Mark from Korea? Michael? Dylan said shave today too, kept the mustache for the vibes. Nice. I actually, when I was shaving and I was shaving this part of my chin, like the razor, I only had a couple disposable razors here. I need to get a new like nice razor set. I just don't shave enough, but I hate using the plastic ones. I know that's whatever, but that's what I was using, and the one was dying, and it had just like I had this little patch of like super long chin, like, and I'm like I should leave that and take one photo, and then I'm like it's too gross. I can't even do it, but yeah. Also, I could tell, you probably can't see it on the camera, but just little patches I missed because it's kind of dark in my upstairs bathroom. So, what's up, Frank? David? Brent, you're drinking a Voodoo Ranger. As mentioned, I've got a Mad Tree. Where is Mad? Is Mad Tree Dayton? No, it's Cincinnati area. Why am I drawing a blank on where they are? Oh, that is such a tiny print. I know I brought that up before, but definitely a somewhere down there in Ohio. Yeah, they're Cincinnati. Yeah. I haven't watched that yet, Mark, the Leo Rides Around the World film. I'm also a couple videos behind on the EF, like, made a separate channel for kind of like Lachlan Morton's adventures, and I haven't watched a number of those yet either. So those are a bunch of videos I want to check out. There's a number of you guys, too, who I haven't seen your videos yet, people I follow. But it's been with that little bit of traveling over Memorial Day weekend and last weekend being in Ann Arbor. But that's all coming off like a pretty busy spring, so yeah, I'm behind on some of the bike videos that I want to check out. So when I'm editing photos, I watch videos that are more like that are less visual. So I don't watch bike videos when I'm editing photos. Besides, like I said, I'll put on Terry's live streams or like the Giro d'Italia I was watching, because you kind of look over when something's interesting happening, but you're just could listen to it. But I don't put on super visual stuff like most people's bikes videos when I'm working, because I miss too much. So. Dimitri. What's up, Ben East? What's going on this summer? Well, today was the first day that felt like true summer. It was really nice. So I was trying to finish some editing, and I'm like, I got to get out. So I rode up. So I got some pictures of the blimps, because we have 3 blimps flying over Akron today. So, yeah. So today was the first day that felt like summer, and we're starting to get into our serious summer planning. About nailed down our summer trip, our Alt Ohio to Erie plan. So getting close to that. Raymond, what's up? Oh yeah, we had wildfire smoke warnings yesterday and today, but they never materialized. The sky wasn't even that hazy, so I don't think they hit. And then Dylan had sent me a warning when we were on our way to Ann Arbor, but then the day he got to Ann Arbor, there was clear skies as well. Yeah, global warming is also probably only going to spread the ticks as well, too. What happened to my... I lost my place. Pulled up that Dimitri comment. Non-alcoholic Old Milwaukee. Huh. I've never seen that. Indoor trainer life. At least they can't jump. Yeah, that is a misconception. Some people think they're like fleas, but ticks just fall on you. So again, like that's why I don't worry as much if I'm riding my bike and mountain bike trails in the woods. Long grass stuff is where I'm very careful about checking myself after. But if I'm just doing like a mountain bike trail, I think people worry too much about the ticks in that situation, because they only really they get on you by brushing against them for the most part. So. Yeah, Bradley said, check yourself when you're done riding. And again, I know people have found them up on their back, like you've missed them and they've crawled up. And And I am someone who does not always shower after every ride. I am not like obsessive about being clean all the time. Like it's just who I am. Don't care. I get that question a lot too. Like, how do you clean yourself when you're bike packing? Me and my friends generally stay at state park campgrounds and places like that, so there are shower facilities. But if there aren't, I don't. But I always check my legs for ticks. But that is definitely a thing where you could miss them. But yeah, if you're in tall grass, that's when you really got to be vigilant. If you're just riding in the woods and you didn't stop anywhere and you didn't sit down, you should not have really, you shouldn't have to worry about them that much. But Rock Eastwood, what's up? He said your coworker was mad photographer. A mad photographer was a mad photographer. Wore jeans and a flannel shirt to shoot a wedding. Agree or disagree? Unprofessional. About 50-50 in our circle. I always wear jeans. What I do is if I'm shooting something that's fancier, I wear black jeans that are like, you know, very black, like haven't been worn in at all. I rarely tuck in a shirt anymore. I usually have my Vans on. I wear my black Vans. It depends. It depends on the kind of wedding. I only shoot weddings for people I know or people who someone I know, like their wedding photographer dropped out, like when the COVID thing was still kind of happening and someone would be in a crunch and someone would reach out and be like, can you do this? So like, I feel like no one was going to give me shit for anything because I was like stepping in, or it's my friends who are used to seeing me the way I am. But if I was a pure wedding photographer, I would wear dress blacks, just like I did a big cinematography gig for another YouTube friend up in Cleveland, like 7 cinema cameras, and I was doing like an assistant camera thing. I got in all my dress blacks. So I think that's, depends. It's hard. I don't think I give a hard and fast answer on that. Dylan said the thing about ticks is almost all viruses take over 24 hours to transfer from the tick. So you have a pretty good window to catch all of them in the shower. Yeah. I would also worry more about ticks if I had a dog. My buddy Andy Chermak, who has a dog, and they go hiking, he has shown us like Tupperwares full of ticks that he's pulled off the dog. So, Thrifty Frame Builder said, really enjoyed the most recent video. Ann Arbor looks like a fun little town. It is. Ann Arbor is like become super expensive. It doesn't feel like super expensive to visit. I do feel like the Airbnb prices and stuff have gone up, but to live there is super expensive. Pricing a lot of people out, but it is like there's a lot of good restaurants. Like the downtown is full, and then it just me and Dylan were talking about this with William or LeBron. Like you're 2 miles and you are out on gravel roads. A little farther this time because there's a dam that you kind of can ride to get out into the country a little faster, but yeah, it's a great spot. And then, you're not far from Detroit, and which I personally, that's a positive to me because I love Detroit. But yeah, Ann Arbor's definitely a cool spot. Every time we've gone up there, I've liked it. The scene is great. This year we did bike party. And so like, that's like a much more mixed, group of people and had fun time meeting more people. So what's up, Racer? How's it going? What's up, Wayne? Yeah, the single track, the DTE Trails, like, are really some of my favorite. They're just a lot of fun. Like you'd say, they're just some of the smoothest single track you'll ever ride. So yeah, I really enjoy that as a full rigid rider, and yeah. Oh, it is. You did bring up Paul Rudd. Right. Frank Manhands, what's up? Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. Pickle Juice retracted their message. Thanks again, Slotty, for joining the membership, which means I probably need to get caught up. Kemery, holy shit, brother, I didn't recognize you for a second. I thought some guy had hacked the channel. Yeah. It's when I started shaving, I'm like, I let this beard get way too long, but Two Thick Scoops. Hello from LA. What's up? Oh, yeah, that's right. Pudgy was on the Christmas stream before he decided he was all about sick boy life. I'm really hoping, Pudgy, yeah, you come out the other side and things just get better and better. But it sucks, yeah. Your run of luck with your health has been analogous to my gunner. But my gunner's a bike, so it doesn't matter. What's up, Brian Adventures? Yeah, it was so fun. William LeBron, I also got to say, when we met him, I ran into him in the parking lot getting ready for the gravel ride before the Ann Arbor Handmade Bike Show. And you could tell I was kind of in a hurry. I just got my bike together. I was trying to catch Erin because she had driven into town separate from me. And he said, "What's up?" And then I had that moment of recognition, circled back around. And then he was like, wait, something to the effect of bring it in, whatever. But it was yeah, so great to get that hug finally. But in the ride, when he rolled up on us and I was riding with Erin, what would be the right phrase for this? But it was the best callback to a channel inside joke. He was like, "That bike looks a little small for you," or something along those lines, which was genius because if you go into the comments section, it's so weird, but people always comment for some reason about how me and Erin's bikes are too small for us, especially Erin's. And the funny thing is, Erin is the most bike fit dialed person. Her Crustbound Bora fits her according to every single chart. She is so in tune with her bike fit. If she changes her pants, she'll change her saddle position, which is, as you saw in the last video, what she was doing when I broke my seat post bolt. So that joke was just so perfect. It was so funny. I loved it. Yeah. Most on point IRL channel joke of all time. But I accidentally clicked on the chat and lost all the. Oh, if I got a haircut and shaved, I'd look like a toddler now. Yeah, so this was the third. I've been to Ann Arbor a number of times, but this was he's going into play mode right on my lap. Third time I've spent time riding bikes and hanging out in Ann Arbor. A couple comments there in a row. So, yeah, I love it. And like I said, next time, and with the comments I got about the Paddle Trails as well, people were saying, yeah, they are rougher and not quite as smooth, but they're nothing you couldn't do on a rigid with the tires I have, and just do it first in the day. So I want to go back and hit those trails as well. What's up, Yonda? Oh, you have a Missing Falls Brewing Space Horse with you? Nice. Sorry I missed. So Yonda, formerly the Dirty River mechanic, is mostly retired. He's still going to do some work, but yeah, he had a kind of his last night, and they were going out for some beverages. But that's when me and Brad were taking off to Ann Arbor. So I'm sorry I missed that, Yonda. I would have liked to have shown up, but I know we'll still be seeing each other. It's not like you've died or moving away. So. New Glare Spotted Cow. That's actually a beer I've had before. I picked that up on my way back from a trip to Milwaukee to see Jenny Lewis and the Watson twins. So, yeah. What's up, Whiskey 6? So, Dimitri, at sunset, even sunset in Ann Arbor, I noticed the orange sky, but during the day today, we didn't have much haze here, so. Clunky. So Erin did the same thing. She put the aluminum is not metal sticker on her mountain bike, which is an aluminum mountain bike, so. Naptown. Yeah, see, the heat and humidity didn't bother me today. Well, I didn't feel like it felt that humid here today. It was hot, but there was also really windy, so it might have knocked down the real feel a bit. So we'll see what it feels like the next couple days. I think it's going to be even hotter. I heard that there were going to be views of the Northern Lights, but I keep forgetting to check on them. And even the last time that happened, once I saw that you have to kind of see it through your phone or long exposures, I didn't really care about it, even as a photographer. So, hey, what's up, David? Oh, is that where the wildfires are coming from? I haven't. Like again, I was gone, and then I've been busy right when I got back. I haven't looked at where the wildfires were coming from. So, hey, what's up, Astro Pup? Came super close to meeting, but didn't meet. Speaking of meeting people, so ticks are devil spawn. Gym shower wipes. I know some people like that. I just don't like that kind of thing, and it's not. I would rather like splash some water if I can, but yeah, I'm just someone who's not totally grossed out by like if I dry up, I'll just go to bed. So yeah. Found one on the back of your neck a couple weeks ago and figured you got it from a deer trail you were riding on. Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to parse this comment. Pudgy, rather deal with ticks than Yelp using crackheads and acids using saber-tooth tigers, but I'm weird like that? Oh my God. Smoke in Maryland too. Huh. That shows how out of the loop I am on the news. If it wasn't for looking at my weather app, I wouldn't even know this is going on. I've pulled, so yeah, I know David, you have been like an outdoors dude your whole life. I've always been like a hiker and stuff like that, but in my life, I think I've probably pulled 2 ticks off myself. And I used to hike in like the short ankle socks back in the day, and just my Vans. So, and we used to sit down and smoke weed on the side of the trails where we were like out there in the grass. I never thought about it. I do think they're worse now. I mean, I don't think they're worse now. Like the science says they're worse now, but yeah. I definitely gotten ticks in the woods. No issues so far. Magic Mountain by Hollow Ship reminds me of my style. Gonna ride to see live music on Thursday. So local route Lucero is playing in GR. What's up, Will? Not sure I pick up on all of that, but I assume Magic Mountain by Hollow Ship. Not picking up all of that, but we might ride to see local music on Thursday as well. I was going to put something in the Discord about it because outdoor music in Kent, and I know a number of people said, hey, when you're doing a Kent ride, hit me up. So I will. We need to double check the weather. Thunderstorms are supposed to move in at some point, but yeah. I know Aaron wanted to head out there and a couple other people, so I will post about that. Yeah. I just sprayed that so bad. Laughing at Pudgy's comment, but Bob Roll Burns. Do you like? Yeah, I never had sideburns. I think like I so hated 90210 when I was in high school because that's how old my age is. That's when that was out. That I like hated sideburns. But yeah, like I left the gray, like 70s Elvis like kind of sideburns on for this. Yeah, I have to say, I think Richard rode the race he needed to ride in stage 20. It was all on, I mean, it was all on Lopez to do the work to not lose the Giro, and I really think I'm surprised the DSs on UAE didn't call it better because, you know, you could chalk it up to him being a 21-year-old and being inexperienced, but the DSs shouldn't be that inexperienced. But yeah, Carapaz rode the race he should have. EF's in no, now they're in no threat of relegation this year. So yeah, podium for Carapaz. I would have loved to see EF get a Grand Tour in my lifetime, but yeah. We'll see what happens at the Tour, though. It's going to be a totally different race, I think. You know, especially if Vingegaard and Pogacar are going healthy, it's going to be real interesting. But yeah, what a great Giro d'Italia. Like to see that kind of just not dominance, you know, an actual race, the whole race, and then to see Yates, you know, who I don't have a problem with. I'm not crazy about Jumbo, obviously, but Yates is a good dude. So that was a great race. I have not got my seat fixed, Randy. I haven't decided. So both my main bikes have an issue. that I don't have the stuff to fix here. So my Raleigh, which I rode tonight, is almost out of sealant in the front tire. So I just keep pumping that up and riding it. And so with the gunner, I pulled the bolt out, but I need a new bolt. So I'm like, tomorrow, do I ride my bike to the shop standing up on the gunner and then have them replace the seat bolt, or do I ride the Raleigh to the shop and have them put sealant in the front tire? So that's where I'm at right now. Zach said 27-point fine, chunky rear, 29 front camp bike, or match thinner wheel set. Thoughts? Huh. I'm not sure what you're asking with the camp bike, front camp bike, 29 front camp bike. See if anyone in the comments knew exactly what you were getting at there. So, sorry, Edmund. I had to move my legs so they didn't fall asleep, and Edmund's not happy with the new position. What if we do this? Want to see him, guys? Look at this guy. How about like this? What if you lay like that? Don't go up on my control stuff, though. Oh, you're going to leave me? Bicycletti said, first TPU tube flat today. Ooh, that's got to hurt. That's an expensive flat. Not the tube's fault. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Madison? Bud, it's been a while. Yeah, thanks. All right, Jan. Oh, Hazy and Dayton, all the way down there. Dang. Slotty, you said super hazy in northern Michigan. That's not surprising, but yeah, Dayton is crazy because it wasn't that hazy here in Akron. Just to show, like, I actually have a pickup on the channel that I could. Did I already show this? No. So that's the 3 blimps flying around Akron today. So it's the 100th anniversary of the Goodyear blimp. So the one in the middle is a modern blimp, but they have it painted in the vintage logo. I was thinking, so the fins back, well, at least when I was growing up, would have been red, white, and blue, and the nose would have been like red and blue. And I was wondering if they didn't do that because I bet they cannot change the number on there, and it would have been a real pain. But I don't know. I'd be interested to look in why they didn't do that. But either way, it still looks cool to see one flying in the old gray. I don't know, a lot of nostalgia. I got a ride in a Goodyear blimp that had that kind of color scheme back in the day. So, but yeah, you could see. So this is tonight at like 5:30. So not hazy at all. So. Pretty certain my next mountain bike will be alloy. I'm going to throw it at the people riding non-aluminum bikes. Hog Dog, wet spring in Colorado. It's been super wet here, too. I think I saw a stat that it has rained on 80% of the days in spring. So, Wayne, are bike fitting services worth the time, expense, potential benefit? I think if you're having a problem you can't solve, they are. So if your hands are hurting, your butt is hurting, you're having knee pain, then I think a professional fitter is worth checking out. Yeah. I've never had a proper bike fit. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you have a bad back. That's from my years I'm working on the farm. But, yeah, if you're having a certain issue and you can't figure out why, then I do think a bike fit is worth it. If you're comfortable on the bike, then I wouldn't spend the money on it. So, yeah, our Aaron went out and mountain biked the last 2 days because they've finally been open. I wish I kind of had the time to do it, but. Naptown said, if you can't be stinking riding bikes for days on end on rail trails, where can you be stinky? Exactly. The devil's backbone is spine rattling right now with all the rocks on the trail due to the wet-dry cycle. Yeah, out at DTE, we were talking about how the trails were perfect because it's been such a wet spring, but it was dry the couple days before we went, so they were very grippy, but they weren't muddy anywhere, so we got really lucky. So. Wool makes a huge difference in shower-worthy hygiene for me. Same. Switching to wool boxers for my bike tours has been one of the best things I've ever done, or just even on hot days. But, yeah, wool stuff is great. I even like the I even like some synthetic sun shirt style stuff. But yeah, the wool, uh, whatever kind of style you like as the base layer, wool blends, game changer. So smoke weed while we were out there on the grass, redundant, but I'm game for the next round. Oh shit! We pulled over to pee on the way home from a steamboat, and the wife got a tick on her arm from squatty pottying. Oh, that's horrible. What's up, CJ? Survived Rocky Mountain spotted tick fever. I don't like ticks. Yeah, so that's what the thing. I'm not saying I would never like. I don't want to belittle the threat of ticks, but when people ask me like what I do about them, it's like I stay vigilant. I don't like having sprays on me. I'm someone who doesn't like suntan lotion. Like I don't like that stuff on my body, and a lot of that goes to saying at the end of the ride we might not be able to take a shower. If I just got sweaty and I could at least rinse my face, I can sleep. But if I put those like chemicals on me, that stuff like grosses me out when I'm trying to. Then when that's mixed with sweat, it's different ball game. So, but again, I know it's the internet, and just because I do something for myself doesn't mean I'm against whatever you guys do for you, you know. And that's one thing that always gets lost in the weeds. Like people go in with a mentality on all like any video where I have an opinion on something, and they're like feel like I'm being against them, and I'm like 90% of what I talk about, I'm talking about like what works for me, and I usually try to be pretty clear about that. The bike lane debate and what I did in the video about the bridge was a little different, and some people coming at me like you have to always ride in single file. If you want to do a social ride, you should be out in the country. Those people I tell to straight F off, you know. But when it comes to like topics like this or saddles or you know, do you want flat bars or drops? Like that stuff is all personal. What do you like to wear? Like, you know, like I said, I'm not anti-kit because I never wear kit. I'm not anti, you know, lycra because I don't wear lycra. I'm not anti-clipless because I don't ride clipless. But if you ask why, I'll tell you why I don't. So. Oh, Heavy Locks, you said you got Lyme last year before for the first time. Pretty sure it was camping at Pennsylvania's Grinduro. Wasn't wasn't fun, but not as bad as it could have been. And I think that's kind of the thing now, right? Like that it used to be fairly untreatable because my dad got Lyme disease too, and it was like almost a non-issue. Like they like tested for it, he had it, they gave him whatever the treatment is now, and he had no problems. Like I mentioned, that photographer that I follow, he's talked about how his arm and there's still like nerve issues with it. So, and he still feels like he said a mental fog sometime that he never a mental fog that he never had before. So. Naptown, those are my favorites too. I am more of a spring classic season, and pro racing is my favorite. Paris-Roubaix, Tour of Flanders, all of them, Strade Bianchi, like that's my favorite racing. But then the Grand Tours come on, and I'm like, yeah, they are. And especially with I like the Giro actually usually better than the Tour. I don't think the Giro course was that great this year. They were lucky it turned out to be such a great race. It just wasn't very Giro-like, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with that route. I don't know if they were just trying to go more international and it affected what they needed to do with the transfer times. But when the Tour does come on, like the hype about the Tour is just, it's fun because it's the only time that like people who are not into bike racing might like be paying a little bit of attention. You know, my family, like my brother's going to know what's going on in the Tour. My dad's going to know what's going on a little bit in the Tour. You know, it's going to be covered a little bit more and outside the cycling community. So the Tour de France is just the Tour de France. You know, you could like college football, but the Super Bowl's still the Super Bowl, right? I guess is the thing. Use super glue or epoxy instead of sealant and it won't leak as bad. You're talking about my, because the tire I'm having an issue with is because I think I'm just out of sealant. So. What's up, Nate the Great? Nate the Great, I got to see also in Ann Arbor last weekend, only really briefly. He was walking out of the Handmade bike show, and I was chatting with some people out on the street. So, man, everyone's got broken bike stuff going on, huh? What's up, Eddie, by the way? Got to bleed your 29er brakes. Yeah, I don't have any hydraulic brakes, so that's something I've never had to deal with. Oh, Zach. Smaller, thicker 27.5 rear or match 29 bike camping setup. Any comforts gained? I say kind of, this is one thing I say, kind of the same thing that Terry Berenson says. I'm really tall and my bikes are big, so I just like 29er and 700C. So yeah. And my Gunner fits wide tires on 29ers, so I just don't really have a strong opinion on that one. But also, rim tire interfaces. I know some people are I know Racer is really into going narrow rims with wide tires and actually ballooning them out. And other people really like having the matched, like, rim width side with the tire. That is something I'm just not that nerdy about. When I got the Gunner and I knew I was going to run wider tires, they were like, don't get the Velocity area rounds you use on your Rally because they're too narrow. So I got the Blunt 35s because they fit the 55s better, but they work. I'm just not that. But I would guess I would say, Zach, it depends on what you can clear on your 29s. If you're going to be out bike camping on stuff that might be a little rougher and the 29 limits your tire size, then I would rather go down to 27.5 to get a fatter tire in there and worry about that more than the wider tires. I'm all about wider tires. So, yeah, no problem, Will. But it's Edmund with a U. So,
Benoski Calvo subscribes to the channel.
Thanks, Benoski. And so I was going to do a trivia question tonight, but I figured it was too easily Googleable. So maybe I'll come up with something else. But the trivia question was going to be, so the Goodyear blimps, they rotate like the whole generation of blimps. Like, I don't know for sure, but in my lifetime, it's been roughly every 20 years. So here's what the trivia question was going to be. The current round of Goodyear blimps, there's 3 of them, are technically not blimps. And I was going to say, what are they? And there are 2 correct answers. And it would either be a dirigible or a Zeppelin. So the current Goodyear blimps have internal structures. So blimps don't have. Blimps are just bags of gas. And so all the Goodyear blimps up until these new modern ones have been true blimps, but now they are actually Zeppelins or dirigibles. So that's some good bar trivia knowledge if you guys ever want to use it. But yeah, so Goodyear made a blimp called the Spirit of Akron in the late 90s. And when they launched that, there were 4 blimps in Akron. This is today where they had the 3 here for the 100th anniversary. Me and Flavortown Brad, Columbus Brad, went to see the launch of that one, and they had 4 flying around. That one actually had an X pattern for its rear fins, whereas all the traditional blimps had like a cross. And it was a more modern version, but it was still a true blimp. But it was just faster and just a little bigger, more aero. It crashed before it crashed, Goodyear had sold Goodyear Aerospace to Lockheed Martin, and that design went with them. So after it crashed, they could never make one again. So the blimps, when they started updating them, they updated it to the Zeppelin models, which I believe are a partnership with a German company. So they are actually like Zeppelins for all intents and purposes. Intensive purposes. Anyways, I'm an Akronite, and I got to know about blimps. That's how it is. So. Yeah, and here too, when they started launching the new version of the blimps, and they still call them the Goodyear blimps, but they are Zeppelins. Everyone noticed the noise was different. It's like they don't sound like blimps anymore. Like super nerdy Akron stuff for sure. Am I missing? Oh, I'm on Top Chat. Maybe shoot.
JMZ 555 became a member. JMZ 555 celebrates 50 months of membership. This guy sounds just like Tim.
What's up, JMZ? Thanks, JMZ, for the 55 months. No, I am on Top Chat, not Live Chat, but let's see where we're at now. Let's see if I could find... So I just switched to Live Chat because we're not that busy that I need to use Top Chat. And now I've lost all my place. Okay, those aren't blimps, airships. So no, airships would not be... If that was the response to my trivia question, Zeppelins is definitely the... Zeppelins are dirigibles. I just blow a lot of money... Slotty, I just blow a lot of money on stems and saddles instead of a bike fit. Perfect answer. Love it. Yeah. I always say too, like it is tough with saddles. If you don't have a bike shop that has like a lot of like lenders, what do you call it, like floor model saddles to try out, how do you know? Like, and like the whole Brooks thing, which won't go down that rabbit hole, but like I'm someone who believes they break in really well. But if you try and break one in and it's still not comfortable, what, you rode 600 miles on a saddle you don't like? I don't really know the answer to that. So Dylan just buys a new bike and sets the old one on fire. When we were riding this weekend, I asked him about his tumbleweed. He's like, by the way, that was 2 bikes ago. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. People that are insecure tend to take things personally. Yeah, but there's a lot of broiness to the whole, my opinion's right, Car brains always want to tell you how to ride, teach their own other choices. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. What's up, Michigan Biker? Welcome. Oh, I think Pudgy understood what you were saying better than I did. Wear Lycra and use DEET bug spray and you won't be wearing Lycra much longer. I don't... I'm sure there's a good joke in there that I'm totally missing. Oh, my frame rate went way down. Are we doing okay? You guys still seeing everything? Oh, it seems like it's all right. At least audio is still there. I don't get it. It's saying it's dropping frames, but it has like over 10,000 kilobits per second. That should be plenty. I don't... whatever. Doesn't matter. So Lyme's disease is bad if they don't catch it early enough. So what has happened? Has it become the detection that's better, or I just thought it become the treatment that is better? So yeah, Pudgy, you jump around on bikes as much as anyone. So obviously don't use either of those in your tire, you muppet. Randy, I didn't catch any of Unbound because we were gone. I mean, I was like reading about it and following along on Instagram, but I did not watch the race, the live streams that they had on YouTube. Also, we had our buddy Aaron Novak completed the 200 with a 14-something mile per hour average. Aaron's been on the stream before. I think the last time, Ron, Aaron. The joke is always Aaron with the crust because both Aarons have crusts. But anyways, yeah, he completed in 14, and then Ames, who you guys know, she was on, 2 weeks ago? She did the 100, and she completed it with over a 15-mile-an-hour average. So, also Unbound, I don't know if people realize this, the 200 has 11,000 feet of climbing. So, not a crazy ratio, but it's still 11,000 feet, no matter what the ratio is. It's still a day with 11,000 feet of climbing. So, I thought both mortal friends of mine's performance out there was pretty amazing. And then obviously the winners, with doing the XL and the times they did it this year, just absolutely insane. So Lachlan Morton's average for 350 miles in the XL was 20 miles an hour. 20 miles an hour for 350 miles, and he had 7 minutes of not riding time. That's just insane. And he came in second. So I just didn't see the stats on the guy who won, but I think they were within a couple minutes, so it wouldn't be that different. So Bruce, I haven't ridden the Journeyer, but a ton of friends who have Journeyers, as Pudgy just mentioned. So, but yeah, they sold those things ham over fist, as they say at Dirty River during the pandemic. It's one of the bikes that, for some reason, was able to be sourced. But people love it. It's a great platform. I recommend it to people just from knowing people who have it and ride it. But I've never had one. Tour is more accessible, not a horrible thing, for sure. So who is this, strangers? 36 spokes equals no broken spokes? Yeah. Bicycletti said your friend ordered some generalized stickers for his old rock hopper. Nice. Someone just posted, who posted the photo in the Discord today with an Otso, and they'd put the generalized, like, perfect color match sticker on there. First set of Hydro brakes. Don't know if you're a fan. I like the BB7 Avids. I do think I do think there are benefits to Hydro brakes. I think there are just such good mechanical disc brakes out there now, like the Grotech Equals and the Paul Clampers, which are pricey, but you just don't ever have to deal with Hydro. I don't know. It probably depends on how you ride. Like with bike packing and stuff like that, I like the idea of mechanical, but I rode really good SRAM Hydros on the Gunner when it was still Otis's, and there's no denying that modulation was really, really good. But was it so good to the level that, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a nerd about modern gear. So, am I going to add a mini velo to my collection? No, I have no need for one in Akron. So, and it's not that I'm, again, the whole internet thing, I'm not against them. I just don't have a use. Like, there's no public transportation for me to put my bikes on. Like, I don't need a small bike. So, my bike, I have a giant door in the back of this basement that my bikes come in and out of, and I lock my bikes up, and I just don't, they're just like, I'm not getting on buses. We don't have any trains. We don't have any subways. So I think they're really cool, and if I lived in a city, they would make total sense. But for me, they just don't they don't serve a purpose. So favorite panniers. I only have one set, and they're not totally waterproof, so I only have the Junior Rangers from Swift Industries. But if you want, like, I think Ortlieb are kind of the popular choice because they're welded and waterproof, but I don't have any of them, so What's up, Blackball? Been a little while. Doing some freelance work. Nice. That's good to hear. Pudgy said Ortlieb are nothing for panties. Yeah. They're kind of the standard, right? They don't look as cool as my Swift bags. I'll guarantee you that. Yeah. Actually, I've been in the rain with the Swifts, and actually they have not gotten wet on the inside, but all my valuable stuff I pack into those, like, really thin, waterproof Sea to Summit dry bags. So, but yeah, if someone was, like, traveling across the country or doing a long tour, I would, yeah, the Ortlieb's definitely the way to go. Frank said, brought my bike to the local bike shop in February and they still haven't assembled it. What would you do trying to be patient? I'd be calling them. I'd be like, hey, give it back. Let me take it somewhere else. Yeah, right now there's no excuse for that. We are not at the pandemic level. I know what's going on in bike shops. Since February, they have the time to get that bike together. You need to be pushing them. My bike's been here since February. I would actually want a discount. I wouldn't want to pay for it when you get it. I'd be like, you need to do something to make this right. Yeah, there's no way. No way. Racer, I have a light bulb moment whenever I mount a tire. In Southern California, you don't need rubber or leaps. Yeah, that's for sure. In Southern California, you don't need waterproof stuff, right? Yeah. It rains a lot here, so I was just watching. Do you guys follow 718 out of New York City? There used to be a bike shop, but now he just does like tours and stuff. I was just watching their video of the Gap and CNO tour, and they had like 2 days of hard rain on the CNO. So, yeah, I mean, I like my Swift Junior Rangers. I have racks, like the rack that Otis, he had one that something happened, he couldn't sell it, so he gave it to me for the gunner. And it doesn't actually interface that well with the Junior Rangers. I've had to mod like the rack a little bit to make it work. So the Ortliebs would be nice because the way they would lock in and be solid and wouldn't bounce around. I talked about that in a couple videos. But yeah, depending on what your rack is, like the Junior Rangers kind of hook on in like a very traditional style, so you need a more traditional rack to make them work. But if and I'm not like, I am definitely usually a function over form guy, but yeah, I do like the Junior Rangers, the way they look, and I also like their size. So, made by the Reich. Greg Milo, what's up? Greg Milo, if you haven't, if you're still in here, Thursday night, Van Salen is playing in Kent. That's just the thing I was talking about for Thursday. You should ride out with us. So, and I saw Kyle tonight. He had mentioned doing some Thursday night rides other nights this summer. So, Greg Milo is my buddy. I've shared his music videos on the channel and in the Discord before. So I've helped him or acted in his music videos or filmed them before. So, yeah. Heck yeah, Zach. Stairway to Rubber. Is it good bar trivia though? I don't know. Is that how far behind I am? We're still talking about. Oh man, let me burn through some of these comments and get caught up. Dirigibles because Zeppelins explode. Yeah, I mean Zeppelin. If I have this right, Zeppelin is the Kleenex of dirigibles. So it's like the brand name, and yeah. Oh boy, it's a Zeppelin. The Rocketeer. Wow, yes. Max from high school turned into a blimp. All right, we're catching up here. All right. JMZ, thanks again, man, for the 50 months. Oh, that was the Spirit of Akron, David Geller. That's the one that crashed down there in South Akron, right? Or are you talking about something different? A new mini pump. Yeah, what is my branded mini pump? Mine's a Cannondale. I doubt they made it. I'm sure it's just Cannondale branded. But, yeah, Wolf Tooth, if you're going to spend the money, for sure. Who's the other? Lazine. Is that how you pronounce that company? Theirs are awesome, though. Steve, I'm all about the Brooks, but I'm not going to go down this. Oh, yeah, Dylan got the Ultra Mini. Yeah, I remember when you posted that photo in the Discord. Oh, DEET melts the plastic in Lycra. Interesting. The skeeters in Colorado huff DEET to get high. I've talked about this before. We went for a hike in near Bryan, Ohio. It's middle of nowhere, out towards Indiana, in an old-growth forest. And me and my girlfriend at the time had spray on us. They told to make sure you wore off or something. And halfway through the hike, the mosquitoes didn't even care. Like, we were really, like, bandanas over face, glasses on. We couldn't keep them off us. It was crazy. All right, let's see. Crank Brothers. It's astoundingly small. Dylan's best pickup line. This probably is something like if you use DEET and Lycra, you'll eventually see DEET's nuts. Now I get it. 10 minutes later. Oh, you were watching Unbound, see if you could see Aaron out there. Oh, man. Yeah, Bicycletta, I saw there's a photographer that I met at Higher Ground Hundo. He was filming that out in PA who's gone on to get pretty well known, Joshua Strong, and I was reading his comments about that. It really sucks, man. Nice, Hog Dog. The guy who used to run Lifetime was a massive bigot, huh? That's weird because, like, isn't Garmin still a sponsor of Unbound, and they do all their like fairly progressive fundraising stuff? But whatever. Yeah. David, love your Timberjack. Nice. Cross Max wheel set. Oh, Michael, you got a Wild Super Tramp. Yeah, I've got a buddy who's loving his too. Dennis, that's man. You had spokes replaced and they fixed up your bike for $50. That's a deal. Yeah. Well, P, when is the Mackinac Island vid? What we gonna do? Mackinac Island. Huh. I've definitely been to the UP, but for Hodag, we might go back this year. We haven't decided yet. So. Don't they have a front rack like WRTA buses do? Oh, don't they? Like Metro buses around here do have front racks, but I just haven't, like, if that was like referring to the Mini Velo, even if I was using those, you could put a full size bike on those. You wouldn't need a Mini Velo for them. So just because they don't serve a purpose doesn't mean you don't need one. Good point. Yeah. Dimitri Tailfin? Yeah. Tailfin makes panniers too, right? I always picture I always picture Tailfin stuff as all the roadie Aero stuff, but yeah, they have panniers. But I don't know if do those only work with their kind of Aero system? Can you put those on a different rack if you didn't buy a Tailfin rack? I have no idea. I'm just saying, spitballing, saying stuff. Pudgy, are the dry bags you had when you were a diver, though? They're probably pretty thick and heavy, right? Weren't those? Because my cousin Jeff, who lives in Florida, had like all the dry bags back in the day, but they were like, they're not what I would want to use for bike packing compared to like, and I could be wrong, but like the Sea to Summit ones are like, they don't even weigh like a few grams, which is why, and I'm not a weight weenie, I'm a space weenie, so they just like are tiny. So if you put your stuff in them, they're not like adding a bunch of space. So. Used bikes, pick up a Trek 29er, hardtail, kind of backing off road bikes now. It's the way to go. Yeah, oh yeah, depending on where you're at. But yeah, with that February comment, like if you are in Ohio, bring it out to one of our shops for sure. Arkel bags. Gonna try not to fall like even farther behind, but I do want to see what those look like. Oh, these look like real classics. They're cool looking bags. Bike panniers, all right. Racer just sold a 90s BMX for like $2,600. Nice. Oh, Eddie, you were on the Gap C&O trail with 718. Huh. Now I need to watch it again to see. I didn't even realize. Yeah. So you just ripped someone off. Oh, and you haven't watched the video yet. Yeah. It was one of his. He's definitely getting better at making the videos. It was like, I watched it because I kind of wanted to see the footage of the Gap and CNO, but what are they doing here to me? Come on. Oh, and then they kind of have like a shoulder strap too when you pull them off. Some of them do. Huh, where are these made? Because they're really expensive. And and again, I'll spend the money on, I'm not buying new panniers right now. I don't complain about price on bike packing stuff because I know I'm going to probably use it forever, and I want quality stuff that's not going to wear out. But man, these are $279 for those ones. Yeah, they must be made in the U.S. or made in the U.K. or something. Ethical manufacturing. Let's see what they say. Cordura, X-Pack, EcoPack. Okay, those are all. Swift uses those too. Oh, Canadian made. That makes sense. Very cool. Yeah, those are really cool looking bags. Let me go back to their homepage and drop the link in the chat if anyone wants it. No, I've paid a premium for locally made and sustainable companies many times. Kenny Adam Philly. I said what's up earlier. Hey, what's up, Wild Monkey? You had a nice sunny day too? Yeah, we had a great day. Oh, Matt Ford was out there as well? Nice. Hurricane mini pump. Who's the presenter today? Some young looking fellow. Hogdog, you grew up in Bryan, Ohio? Nice. I can't remember. Yeah, there's an old growth forest out there. We went out there to go to the brewery that's in the old church, and the guy owns a buffalo farm. I've showed it actually on the channel before. Drawing a blank on the name of it. All right, Greg. Keep my dirigible gear updated about Van Salen Thursday. I will. Been using the Arkel dry light panniers, and you like them? Pretty affordable. Waterproof, lightweight, and no weird hardware. Are they affordable? Let's look up the ones you were talking about, though. Dry light. Oh, those are more affordable than the other ones we were looking at. Those are more like Ortlieb style looking, more, you know. Yeah, these kind of hook on similar to like the way my Swift ones would. So you just need the right rack. And again, my rack is a Tubus, which is made for the Ortliebs. Totally different system than the way I'm using them. So no, I can't throw shade on that. It's just I'm using the wrong bags and the wrong rack. But that's how I always I use, if I get something for free, I'm going to make it fucking work. You know? The boiled one, what's up? I just brought a Brooks saddle because of you. I love it. Talk more about Brooks. No, I'm so glad you love it, but yeah. Because I've said it a million times. I like Brooks when they're new, and I think they only get better as you wear them in the leather ones. But, you know. Thanks. Simons? Yeah. Don't ever go to Bryan for anything? We had a great time out in Bryan. I don't know. Tim talking about a space weenie? Yeah. I'm not a weight weenie, just a weenie. That's right. Eric, you said ticks in Southwest Ohio are also crazy. Yeah. Question. Speaking of that, and you guys ever run between Chillicothe and Portsmouth? Is Route 104 cool to ride? That's the way I want to go because it's the route of the old Erie Canal, and it's less climby than going up through the prettier parks. So. Anyways. A tick in Southwest Ohio pulled a gun on you last week. Oh, nice, Eddie. I have the Arkel bags that an independent reviewer put in the shower for something like 17 hours, and the stuff inside was still dry. Oh, yeah, I can put that link. Hog Dog finally bought a new helmet. Nice. Arkel is a Canadian company, but I thought their stuff was made overseas. I'm guessing it's a mix. So if it's a welded bag like the one you guys mentioned, I don't believe anyone in North America is doing welded bags. So the ones that were more X-Pac and Cordura could be made in Canada. So some doctor tried to give you fentanyl last night and you threatened her life in return. Yeah. Erin refused like a narcotic version of whatever they gave her after her last surgery. So the doctor told her it didn't matter, but whatever. Here is a link in the chat to the 718 video that Eddie will be in. So Blackball, Arkel bags rule. So all you Canadians banding together on your Arkel bag. They look sweet, yeah. Well, people were bringing up T-Star pumps a lot. Yeah, that the Wolf Tooth one seemed to be highly recommended, but there were a number of other ones that were brought up. Said I've had one of the things, and I don't know if the Wolf Tooth one has this, so let me know. So it pulls out, and so when you're pumping it up, you're not putting a pump directly, and I know I'm going to get in trouble for all these hand gestures, but I got the mic in the way. You know, when you put like a classic, like the old style pumps onto your valve, and then you're just like shaking the hell out of that thing, I don't like that. So for me, one of the, in my Cannondale pump, whatever, it's what Dirty River has that. So like the little rubber piece comes out, so when you're trying to pump it up as fast and as hard as you can, there's flex in there, so it's not just destroying your valve going back and forth. So whether you're on tubes or tubeless, I think that's something that for me is what I want in a pump. But let me know what you guys think about that. So Silka. Oh yeah, I forgot about Silka. That would be another one I would trust too. The dry lights are made in Vietnam. Makes sense. Whoa.
Racer X84107112 super chatted $10, just posted a pic of that BMX bike as well as a couple others repping my latest cyclorama efforts. Running 6 bulbs at 6500K, 2 back, 2 side and 2 top corners. And a little bit of Photoshop.
Thanks, Racer. And there you go. There's the bike he sold. Dang. That looks real nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you got some space in there. Yeah, that's the way to shoot it for sure. Yeah, your lighting and your setup there looks really good. It's also giving me PTSD because I've been photoshopping stuff off white backgrounds all day today. Actually, tires. Giant tires made by a company called Yokohama. And speaking of blimps, right down by the air dock, where they made the original dirigibles, the 2 Zeppelins that they made in Akron, the Akron and the Macon, I shot a bunch of gigantic, like, excavator tires down there on, like, white seamless like this, and that is what I've been doing all day. So, oh, that's cool, too. Schwinn circuit. Oh, those wheels look rad. Spinnergies, yeah. Spinnergies, yeah. Oh, cool to see the setup from farther away. Yeah. I like it. Nice, Racer. Oh, look at that Gary Fisher in the front. Yeah, very cool. Also, thanks for the 10. If you guys aren't in the Discord, check it out. So you could go in there, zoom in on these photos and everything, not see them over the stream. But, yeah. Hog Dog, I use a Crank Brothers shock pump. Oh, I lost my mic? Hello? Hello? It's showing me it's working. Oh, stream says no data at 10:12 p.m. Let me go down to the bottom to make sure I'm still here. Yeah, Pudgy's saying he can't hear me. Hello, hello. Everything here shows it's working. Got it, Pudgy. Can you guys hear me? I'm down at the bottom. Well, Racer said thanks, so he heard me, right? Oh, there's a huge delay in the stream, too. So we're probably about, what you guys are seeing is probably about 25 seconds off of live. It really wandered tonight. So the last thing that was heard was what Racer heard. So I'm not showing anything wrong anywhere here. So still no audio. Okay, you can hear me, Randy Hale. Good. So we're good. We're good. Awesome. It did show me that the stream slowed down really bad for a while, so that must be what it was. So, anyways. Father John's is the brewery. Yes, thank you. Very, very cool place in Bryan, Ohio, which is in the middle of nowhere. And they also serve, if you're, the guy owns a buffalo farm, so a lot of stuff is buffalo, which is way better for you than cow food. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Danny Boyle? Good evening, everyone. We are camping and riding Geneva on the Lakes. Some really good gravel routes found today. Nice. I have never been to Geneva or Geneva on the Lake. Who was just going up? Ben's parents were just going up there. Still can't hear me? Oh, no, this is just, if I don't answer a text, it does the second ring. So. Yeah, I've never been there. But yeah, when we camped at Ben's parents, that's where they were heading. Yeah, Nat Pound, if you're vegan, the C17 is not a replacement for the B17. They're completely different saddles. It doesn't mean it won't work for you, but they're not analogous, in my opinion, because I've ridden the Cs, and they're a completely different thing. So, and yeah. And I'm not saying a C17 wouldn't work for you, but it's not like I just don't think they're analogous saddles, in my opinion. Washington Courthouse? No, we would be heading there after that, Pudgy. So back to the map. So Washington Courthouse, that'll be easy because there's no bike pass between Portsmouth and Chillicothe. But then once we head towards Washington Courthouse, that's all on bike path. So we'll be camping probably somewhere around 10 miles outside of Chillicothe. Probably Lake Hill. So. Oh, wait, I don't have it up here. Let me do this again. So, yeah, we're going to ride from Portsmouth, Ohio, to Chillicothe, and that'll be roads. But from seeing the Torsive route, they ride on that 23, and they say it's okay. But yeah, then to Washington Courthouse, out of Chillicothe, that'll be all bike path. So that's one of the reasons that I was thinking of this route. And I've never been to any of these towns. I've never been to Portsmouth, Chillicothe, Washington Courthouse, Jamestown. But then we'll go through Xenia, which we've been through, but never on these bike trails, over to Dayton. Then we're going to go north for a while. So. Saddle trails. So we won't be hitting the trails because this will be a bike tour. So we're just trying to get through. But I know there are a bunch of, like Dylan, we were going to do a ride earlier in the season, but I ended up picking up a bunch of work down there. So, yeah, and there is that camping out there. What is the... Give my place back. Chillicothe. Yeah, I know there's like hiking, there's like good mountain biking and gravel riding out in that area and camping, but that's not what we'll be doing on this trip. So, basically, I'm also vegan, but my ass needs the leather. At least it's made in England where the cows are native. Oh yeah, we've been through Cedar Creek as well. So. Daryl, I do not. I mean, I have spoke cards up behind me from different events, but I don't have them on my bike. Um, no, I've always got them at events, so I wouldn't know where to get them. Yeah. Daryl spoke cards are easiest obtained at Alley Cat rides. Balancing Bike Club said, unfortunately, State Route 104 is very busy with lots of large trucks and very little to no berm. That's good to know. We were thinking that 104 would be bad, but once we got to 23, we would be okay. So. Bicyclette said, yeah, be safe down there in the hills, Tim. There are some gnarly drivers. So just on your backdrop looks solid. As far as you could get the bike away from the curve is probably the best, but yeah, it looked good. All right. Thrifty Frame Builder, what's up? Said, careful with the pumps with the screw-on hose like the Lazine. You can inadvertently unscrew your cords. I also don't like the screw-on. I don't like the screw-on. I feel like it... I get the idea of the solid connection, but I think it's a pain in the ass when you're out on the trail. I do like the classic just lever, so... Okay, everyone's saying it's fine with the outer. He's going like new Dave. Huge delay between the voice and video. Weird, yeah. Oh, now I'm getting a delay again, too. We might just need to call it for the night. YouTube's not giving me any luck. Stream is worse than the Ohio ticks. Oh, the browser resynced it, so. Railroad Tube, everyone's going to have an opinion on pedals. I really like the Deity Blade Runners. I run it on 3 bikes that I run the most. Expensive pedal, aluminum. You know, you can get compound, cheaper ones, but I love my Blade Runners. So, low profile. That'd be my recommendation, but I haven't ridden a lot. I know people love the Crank Brothers. Aaron runs some of those. Yeah, a lot of good pedals out there. I love modern pedals with the pins, and if you're running flats, they work great with like Vans Old Schools or 510s or whatever. So. Wow, monkey. Yeah, this is a bike shop in Brooklyn in New York. So. And also, I know I've shown Margaret Zephyrline's caps on the channel a lot, and she was at the Handmade bike show. But I had a number of caps where the elastic in the back had worn out, and she fixed them all for me. I think she fixed 6 caps for me. So it's great to have a bunch of these back in the rotation. So. Shimano STPD pedals. He's asking for flat pedals. Nothing wrong with clipless, but that's not what he's talking about. I love the new Deity flat track pedals. Yeah, I haven't seen the flat tracks. I don't think I've seen those yet. Yeah. Yeah, if you run clipless, it's two different things. Nothing wrong with either, but yeah. Deity Black Cats are good too. The ones I wouldn't recommend is the Deity that are just called compound. The axle sits too high, and it kind of cancels out the nice feeling you get from the pins. So yeah, the other ones, the Death Trap is also a good one from Deity. But yeah, the actual compounds are pedals I would not recommend. They might not even make them anymore. Yeah. For you, they're the most comfortable. Clipless are the most comfortable for you. They're not the most comfortable for me. Like again, I'm not against clipless, but if someone's asking about flat pedals, don't recommend clipless to them. Like that's not what they're asking about. You know, again, if you like, I ride with like half my friends ride clipless, half don't, and I don't have an opinion on what's better. But if someone wants flat pedals, I don't try and recommend clipless, and if someone rides clipless, I do not try and convert them to flat pedals. So you know. Wild Monkey, I would look into that. I don't think that's true anymore, and probably for just modern reasons, like you mentioned. Whoa, got a jump there in the chat. Haven't got any new spoke cards since your Fixie Kid Alley Cat days. Yeah. All trails fixes suck. Make it suck less by not threading air pumps on for tires. Yeah, that's my opinion, but you know. Jin Seong, yeah. The beard will be back because I don't like shaving. Oh, they did discontinue dispumping the compounds. That's good. I'm about to race face Chesters. Yes, I've never ridden them, but I know a number of people who really like those pedals too. I've heard those highly recommended as well. I don't know if those hit the under $100 mark. They're probably right around there, right? I think the Deity Blade Runners, what are those? About a $90 pair of pedals, maybe. So. That is one of the things with the Blade Runners. I've had them, like, I've had one give out, and they have these tiny bearings, and when they break, and if you need to get back, you're going to do a lot of damage on the way back, and then they're going to be hard to fix yourself. Low-profile pedals, small bearings. You're going to have that kind of problem. You're not going to get cup and cone bearings like back in the day where you could service and fix everything yourself. I do think some of the, you know, like when you look at the Death Trap or some of the bigger ones, I think the bearings in there are a little bigger, so you do need to keep your eye on them. Thinking of our tour coming up, I realized I'm going to pull the Deity Blade Runners off of my Marin and put them onto the Gunner just because they have way less mileage, so I have way less risk of something happening, going wrong because they are getting to that age. You could just see like how much I've worn them down. I also need to replace a lot of the pins on there, which I just have not got around to doing, but all right. I should call this while we're caught up on the chat before anything else goes wrong. But yeah, this is a fun conversation. I had no plans tonight. I figured hopefully people are just chatting about stuff and we'll go somewhere with it. That's why the title was just something stupid. But yeah, because we've done topics the last, number of weeks. And so fun to just do like a classic old school, having a beer and rambling with everybody. So I don't have any... I don't have I don't know what the content for the channel coming up this week is going to be. One thing I wanted to do is do a Nice, Pudgy. Yeah, I paid 90 because it was like a shop deal for me. Maybe I just don't. I don't retain that kind of information because I don't order my stuff online. But yeah. I think one of the things I'm going to do maybe for the video, if I put out a second video this week for Thursday, is do some like the commonly asked questions. I think I'll do it out on the bike so it's not like me just sitting here. But that's one idea. We do have like the bike tours coming up, but there's a couple weeks in between, so we'll see. I think there'll probably be a couple classic old school just music videos where it just I find good music and we ride our bikes and I just cut it together, which I know the OGs like a lot, but they do less in views, but I don't care because those are my favorite kind of videos to make. That's why if you noticed, I've enjoyed making some shorts and reels lately finally, because I feel like YouTube has finally put shorts where they belong and they're not like on most devices clogging up the feeds, but getting to use popular music and cut like really quick videos together. If you go back 5 years on this channel, you'll see that's what I used to do the most, and it's what actually I enjoy the most. So anyways, little update there on some plans. I also have been thinking about doing some like the opposite of that, like some actual like interviews and shop type visit things. It'll just be different kind of content to make. I do like to do some of my more professional videography once in a while on the channel. And so, yeah, a couple ideas, but yeah, do what you love, F the algorithm. And again, I don't really believe in the algorithm. I do believe in the audience. It's what the audience likes. And, you know, when you watch some of the other YouTubers who play to what people want to see, it works well. Gear videos will always do better. That's just not what I want to do. So I like to make the videos I want to make. So I'd rather grow slow, or I'd rather just make the videos I like to make and chat with you guys. So, all right, gonna get out of here. Thanks as always for watching. Thanks as always for hanging out. I will see you guys. There shouldn't be any reason we won't be streaming next week. So probably be a couple uploads between now and then, but we should be live again next Tuesday. So hopefully with a guest. All right. Peace.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.